My name is Sean Chalfin, and I'm going to show how I have been defrauded at GoDaddy by their Premier Services rep, Mr. Darren Ruse, Expedia, Kayak, Tom Parker at Kayak, iLedge is involved in this, Fastly, Nexstar Media Group, ClickTripZ, and Ross Weber. And this is Cars.Flights, and Master and Slave is what they called this, GoDaddy. Master and Slave. We have slave, slave, master, and what they did here was when I discovered Nexstar Media Group defrauding me, their division called Lacana was syncing content into these links right here, these IMGs, and they were doing that for almost 2.5 years, and it took me almost 3 years to figure out that they were redirecting my traffic through these IMGs using content injected in here by GoDaddy. And they were attaching that content to images. And that's why they call them IMG1.WSIMG. And these are Apple Touch icons. I want to interject these images and explain how GoDaddy is still attacking me using the master and slave man in the middle attack. And here you have bestshoesonline.online and mypage.com overtaking suit.style, my business, right now, June 13th, 2021. It's going on right now. Website suit.style on the right. And this is GoDaddy's Best Shoes Online. I'm going to show how the one on the left, GoDaddy's site's the master, and my website is the slave. And it's kind of interesting these aren't clickable here because it's really kind of a site that's only meant to take over this one on the right, my site. So I ran this DNS checker. This is online today, June 13th, 2021. And let's go to the name servers here. GoDaddy has made a really big mistake here. And my name servers at Network Solutions are being maliciously pointed to these A records. It's the same thing they've been doing for a long time. A long time. So we're going to cut and paste that IPv6 address and come over here and stick it in search box. And there is the IP address of where this IP address is going to those name servers there, Cloudflare. They should be going to name.com. But look at the domain that this IP address is. The domains on that IP address, which is this one over here on the right where suit.style is being pointed, let's just copy it. And here it is right here. We're just going to copy and paste it again. Copy, paste, and go. And there it is. Best Online Shoes. That is my domain. Now, that's where suit.style's traffic is going right there. BaseKit, GoDaddy. And by the way, my page is the man in the middle. That's the man in the middle attack, my page. And my page is another GoDaddy domain. That Lacana, which is Nexstar Media Group, were jacking into my websites. And so when I discovered what was in here, GoDaddy turned my domains and websites into slaves while they were in my name. Before they stole them from me, they turned them into slaves, and they made money off of them, just like they were making money off of all of my websites and domains while they were in my account. I could never Google them. You could pull them up on the URL. You couldn't Google them because GoDaddy turned them into slaves. Eyes.care. Master and slave. Mortgage.town. Master and slave. I had 5,240 domains during my tenure at GoDaddy, and they were hacking them from 2016 on. Invalidating the start of authority by loading them up on a subdomain, as a subdomain on another server, either Akamai or Amazon. And I'm going to show how they did this. And this is a massive, massive, massive DNS crime that I believe is going on an epic scale. And here's how it works. Hold on here. I have to show you how they hacked mask.care. But these are I had 24 different websites while at GoDaddy, and they injected their malware in these IMGs the entire time and redirected the traffic to Expedia. You see Expedia right here in hotel.beer? They use those IMGs to do it. Hotels.viajes. One of them, it was overtaken by Expedia every time I launched it because they would put these IMGs in here. They put these IMGs and it killed the site. Vegas.baby. I spent so much time building, the most time was building hotel.beer, but this one was close. And they hacked it every time with these IMGs. And when I found out what was inside these IMGs, and this was, I spent a ton of time, and I had all the .fishes, and they stole them from me. Atlanta.fish, Miami, Vegas.fish, whatever. They stole them when I discovered Lacana, Nexstar Media Group, in these IMGs. And this is Expedia overtaking hotels.viajes with their travel assets. So let me please show how I discovered what they're doing. Had they had not attacked mask.care, they turned my domain, my websites, this into a slave after I discovered Lacana. So here's how I did it, or they did it, and I discovered what they were doing. GoDaddy used wsite.com to overtake mask.care, and they injected their malware into mask.care. And here you see, and by the way, that URL right there is synonymous to what they were doing. It's their redirect, and it doesn't look like this anymore. In fact, that website doesn't look like that anymore. So here is master and slave on wsite.com. And I caught GoDaddy injecting this, actually Fastly delivered the content. And master and slave. And here you have just the beginning of them injecting their W site menu here, but here in this image, it's got to populate. It's kind of blurry. Is now you're seeing my website overtaken with this edit my site right here. It came in with CDN2, edit my site, and Jacob Rossi and Fastly delivered this. So W site, master and slave. It's the same as what we went over earlier. But it is this in the CDN2, edit my site, is how I uncovered a massive, massive, massive fraud. IamWorld.com is the man-in-the-middle attack by GoDaddy delivered in this attack. CDN2, it's in the base JavaScript. This is a big deal. It's fraud. I'm not the only victim. And I'm going to share with you that changes were made. I sent GoDaddy and Kayak this. And I matched it up with kayak.com. And I said that my Bluehost servers are being redirected to the ns1.net servers. And the ns1.net servers belong to the Exchange Network in Toronto. This is GoDaddy. Now, I sent these screenshots to them, only kayaks, by the way, and they all changed. Look at 11 through 22. It's missing. Before and after, gone. This is kayak.com. 8 through 17 is missing. There is Expedia. And after I emailed these to what I'm about to show you, they deleted this. This is a big red flag. There's Fastly. And there is the Ultra DNS Biz, Ultra DNS name servers that Expedia has. Fastly is delivering content to them. They're delivering content to me because my name servers were pointing to these, in which Fastly has access to. And they were maliciously pointed there by GoDaddy, which they have been doing for 4 years, and I'm going to show you how. Right about those, wait a second. The index, this is at the Index Exchange, which I call Grand Central Station for GoDaddy's DNS. It's Grand Central Station. So hotels.com, before and after. This all happened in the last 30 days. And this is how they've been defrauding me. Through IamWorld. Had they not hacked mass.care, I would have never figured this out. And this is a crime because there are thousands of subdomains here that GoDaddy has placed on this server that are pointed at the NS1s, where the Index Exchange connects them. Before and after, by the way. This is a big crime. I'm telling you, this is on a grand scale. We're talking could be millions of domains. Registrants like myself, using my example at GoDaddy, was defrauded. 5,000 plus of my domains were defrauded this way. So, IamWorld, those are their name servers. And this is the subdomain on these name servers at NS1. And AK Secure is right here, right there. That's the subdomain they're relaying all the traffic, and they're DNS cache poisoning it with. This is a criminal event. This is DNS hijacking. So let's go back to 2017. Website welcome. There were so many of my domains in my portfolio that were pointed at website welcome. Website welcome is on these NS1 servers. And I got the exchange right here to show that, hey, they can transfer these things around. This is where Fastly has access to depositing malicious content into my websites. And so website welcome, again, is right here at the NS1 servers. And the start of authority for I am worldwide is at GoDaddy. Here. Oh, this is what a subdomain looks like. And they have multiple subdomains. There's 283 here, but there are also CNAMEs, and those CNAMEs have thousands of subdomains. So back in 2017 and 18, GoDaddy was just, here's hotels.viajes, there's travel assets, that's Expedia. Man in the middle attack, the index exchange right here. And there's I am worldwide, and this script that I discovered in my cache library. I am worldwide, and this was early on where they were using the exchange network to steal from me. So these travel assets and travel media, let's move on here. I want to show, oh my God, here's another way. Well, that's fine. We'll go back to travel assets. So thousands of my domains were pointed at this IP address. Thousands. They just stole from me for years. The moment Darren Ruse came into my life, they started stealing. So my Shopify has those same name servers. Let's move to back in 2017 and 18 when I would see these Expedia travel assets overtaking my website. So travel assets and travel media, they overtook every one of my websites. They prevented me from becoming a travel company because they would inject these in the header of my websites. And travel media is an Expedia domain parked at these Ultra DNS servers, in which are at the index exchange. And they're at the index exchange. And they're in my website. This is a massive crime. And I am one of many victims. One of many. Travel assets. The who is Expedia. Injected into my websites and redirected to the index exchange. And this is what it looked like. These are Expedia DNS records, Expedia's DNS records at the index exchange. And they changed it. On the left, they changed their name servers. Travel assets injected into hotels hotels.viajes, travel assets over here. Now, this is what it looked like, and this is why they've been trying to delete my evidence and attack my local network, attack my computers. They attack me daily. So this is what they're doing with those name servers at the exchange network. If you're on home away, these Apple Touch icons, which Lacana and Nexstar Media Group, by the way, GoDaddy tore down my websites when I discovered Lacana. And when I showed this to Darren Ruse, they tore down my websites and stole my domains. Because Lacana and GoDaddy were working together to defraud me. Lacana was injecting their social media into my websites. So I want to cover more about Lacana and Elizabeth Ryder later. However, Lacana Nexstar Media Group is the content in which Fastly delivers. That's what they did to me. So in these Apple Touch icons, which were injected into my websites looked like these. Expedia did this to me. They're doing it now. They're just doing it a different way. So let's go back and I'll show you what they do internally. They do to me externally. So internally, now they don't allow, this isn't available to see anymore because they know that I have screenshots and they see how exposed they were. But if you're on Escapia, really you're on a home away. If you're on VRBO because of these Apple Touch icons, I'm sorry, I think it's home away. Now you're redirected to VRBO. So, but these travel assets, what they injected into my websites, allow them to fetch DNS and stringify it. And so what Expedia has done to me, and Kayak and Priceline are in this too because GoDaddy has laid the infrastructure, has combined all of them together. They're a travel company as well, or a travel affiliate underneath. So if you're on Escapia, really you're on home away. And this website's being redirected to Expedia. If you're on Home Holidays or Homelidays, travel assets allows you to go to home away. So when they were attacking hotels.viajes for the last 3 years, preventing me from becoming a travel company, this is what they were doing. And they're doing it now, but they're syncing it. They're syncing the content, and they're syncing it to be encrypted, and they're encrypting it because of this code. And so here you have DC27CD, over here, DC27CD, and it was delivered by Fastly. Fastly here has overtaken my website, suit.style. And by the way, this shouldn't be blue. It should be an image of suits hanging in a closet. And they attached their malware to it, and it turned blue. Fastly did all this. They delivered it all, but it's GoDaddy's content. It's like this right here. It's like what they were doing back then, but they're doing this now. So we're not going to go through all these. I should have that all ready to go. And they're attacking the they're putting all this in the media player. Right here, GoDaddy. The YTIMG injected into the media player, and this is going into my media player. And that's what Jacob Rossi Snow Day did. Here's Kayak. Sink in. There's their subdomains. Stringifying. You can't pull this up on Kayak's website anymore. They're attacking that, or putting their malware in the Shockwave video. So let me cruise through here and make sure I don't miss anything, because I want to cover Nexstar Media Group. Again, what Expedia is doing in-house, they're doing to me. Ross Weber. That's how they're doing it. They made me become, they loaded me up on their server, and it ruined the start of authority of my domains and forwarded the traffic to here. Yes, I could pull my domain up on the URL, but it was invisible to SEO this way. And this is a massive crime. I'm telling you, it's an incredible crime of fraud at GoDaddy, Expedia, Kayak, Nexstar Media Group, and Fastly, ClickTripZ. They all attacked me. And they're still doing it. And I want to show the damage Nexstar Media Group has done to me. And Elizabeth Ryder. I want to tell you something. Third person here. Elizabeth Ryder. I disclosed this to Elizabeth Ryder, and she covered it up. That was 2 years ago. And Elizabeth Ryder of Nexstar Media Group General Counsel, I asked her for help, and she covered it up. And I'm going to show you how she covered it up here. It was the discovery of this that led GoDaddy to steal my domains and shut down every one of my websites, because Lacana and GoDaddy were working together to defraud me and map my domains in that big subdomain category. And I'm telling you, there are millions of domains that are doing this. Not all of them are fraudulent. Not all of them. But GoDaddy is not the other registrant that's doing this. Uniregistry was doing it, and GoDaddy now has purchased Uniregistry, which was defrauding me. So these are Nexstar Media Group TV stations that they were DNS cache poisoning me with varnish. Now, this is how I know that Fastly attacked mask.care, because they attached these SVG XML images right here to this social media icon that was never installed inside the outer portion of my website. It was injected in that media player on the inner portion of it. And there is Fastly's IP address, 151.101, and 4 months later, after I discovered it, I found it to be encrypted. They tore down my websites when I discovered that Nexstar Media Group's Lacana was inside these IMGs. There is Fastly, Varnish, hacking hotel.beer. There is Expedia completely taking over the inner portion of hotel.beer. And that travel pixel is also inside of the Expedia and HomeAway sites. I could go back and show you. If you go back, you'll see it. But when I discovered Lacana in these IMGs, GoDaddy turned my websites into slaves, like cars.flights right here. And so let's go over Lacana. By the way, when GoDaddy turned my websites into slaves, we had a falling out and parted ways. And I had to rebuild slaves, GoDaddy, slaves. You turned my websites into slaves when I discovered Lacana. You guys were working together to defraud me. So here goes Elizabeth Ryder. When I rebuilt suit.style, Lacana followed me to Network Solutions. This is what I showed Darren Ruse. Browser upgrade. You are using an outdated, strong browser. Please update your browser to improve your experience. Lacana. This I discovered in 2018, December. And I figured out that Lacana was defrauding me along with Fastly. I let GoDaddy know that I discovered this. And when I let GoDaddy know I discovered it, they shut me out of my account and shut down my websites. So let's go back to Nexstar Media Group's Lacana following me to Network Solutions when I built this site again. And I built it multiple times because it kept getting hacked because I didn't know I was a subdomain. When I showed this to Elizabeth Ryder, how they were hacking me, Elizabeth Ryder didn't help me. They shut down Lacana and forwarded it to nexstardigital.com. Karen Brophy, CEO of Lacana, on her LinkedIn page, got rid of everything to do with Lacana and turned it into Nexstar Media Group. This happened after I discovered they were defrauding me this way. And I kept it in third person, carbon copied the email that I sent to Karen Brophy and Elizabeth Ryder. I told her what she was doing to me, her company. And instead of helping me, yes, it took me 3 years to get that Max CDN and Browse Happy out of the header. And when they did, BaseKit appeared. This all happened in 3 days. 3 days. Lacana, Nexstar Media Group, was removed from the headers of my websites after I contacted Elizabeth Ryder at Nexstar Media Group. They were defrauding me for years. Their content right now in 2021 is defrauding me now. But when Lacana pulled out, BaseKit came in, and BaseKit had a 28-year SSL certificate on my domain, suit.style. And BaseKit is GoDaddy and Mesh Digital. And then I filed a complaint with the FBI, and they didn't do. I'm sure they're looking at this now. They have to be. They just have to be. But I also filed a complaint with name.com because I built a website on name.com. The domain was at Network Solutions. And then GoDaddy started changing the, by the way, you see that says invalid domain? That's what happens when they put you on their subdomain list. They ruin the start of authority. So GoDaddy was working with Lacana. Lacana was working with GoDaddy to defraud me for a long time. For a long time. So, real fast, Fastly over here on the left, mirroring my site, syncing it with Varnish. Fastly's IP address. Fastly's IP address is now on this side. They don't show it. Came in with CDN too. Now, Lacana, Nexstar Media Group's division, and Fastly and Expedia were wiretapping me, and Confluence Networks, they still are, wiretapping me through, and by the way, GoDaddy is Confluence Networks, and I'm catching him on this shark tap. I got multiple documents showing Confluence Networks out of the Y-Line, Southern California and San Diego, and I believe that is the Metropolitan Capital Investments are getting in that way. Third party. And out of those Metropolitan Capital Investment is in the Grand Caymans, where they're attacking me from right now, which is GoDaddy and Namecheap. So I had to say that because it comes up now. Fastly attacked me through my Neat Scanner app. Lacana and Fastly. And so there's the IP address they attacked me on for years. I got a Neat Scanner that never will work because and my printer, I have no Wi-Fi. They get in through these scanner apps, printer apps. So, Live Engage, Live Engage. Pixel. JavaScript, Redux static. This is the content that Fastly is delivering to GoDaddy. This is off of GoDaddy's website right here. GoDaddy's website, 199.232.77.140. That's the IP address. It's in the same server bank that Fastly was attacking me on through my Neat Scanner app. Fastly. Varnish. Nexstar Media. It just kept on attacking me. And here's what Nexstar Media Group's Lacana was putting in my websites. They were putting derogatory content into my websites. And now Expedia is vac vaping this content into my websites. Vac vape because GoDaddy laid that infrastructure. Because they're all connected. Expedia. And they can, using Varnish, they can get in and do what they want, according to Tom Parker. And that is the crime. And I can tell you, I am not the only victim. They're doing this on a grand scale. And that is why they called my domain slaves.